to whichever number this is, 16-ish maybe?
17.
Ballpark. Oh, 17. Okay, I was close. Uh, I believe we left off last time with uh, having completed the second round and sounds like final round that the party will stick around for of negotiations with the CIS representatives. Um, Avery, would you like to recap, or are you gonna pass this time?
Uh, I hate to keep passing, but if I
No,
could,
understood.
it's been
Extenuating
a wild
circumstances
ride
are, yeah.
the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. And
Also,
a very busy
you're
day for
not
you.
literally like required to recap for us every time just because you're doing the game.
It was
And I
a
like it.
Okay.
fun hazing ritual to start with. We can
I know he said he likes it. He can do it every time.
make it official. Um, I just have to start prepping for it. It'll be your assignment. Java doesn't have to know anything anyway, so. Let's see. So, basically, there was a lot of back and forth. Uh, the players I thought did an excellent job of navigating that whole complex situation, uh, fighting for the things you wanted done, arguing eloquently and charismatically in favor of them, and getting a good read on every faction's interests for the most part. And the takeaway that you were left with was that there will be some sort of resolution or agreement drawn up that at least involves Anagris. The the other two members would seemed willing to agree to very minor starting terms, and with perhaps some additional convincing required to get them all the way there. Now, we can pretty much pick up. I think it'll be good to do a little bit of a time skip. Um, call it a night because it was would have been getting fairly late, and unle- unless you guys would really like to, go back to the quarters you've got on the ship and hash out some things before sleeping. If you have urgent things you want to address.
Can't think of anything for Nero.
I would ask, would I feel like Saoirse has been stepping up a lot more in these meetings? And Brother Nick has also been doing what Brother Nick does best. Would Cade or basically anyone have, I guess, any kind of reaction or feel the need to say anything to her about that? Because I
Actually, yeah.
feel like Saoirse, which you don't have to, I'm just wondering if that would have elicited, if that would have been of note to anybody on the team,
hmm I had
or if Cade would have pocketed it to give her hell about later.
Oh, he probably would have pretended like he didn't notice.
I was like, I can't
Maybe
wait to see if
nod.
Cade took notes to like make fun of her for later.
Oh, he probably took notes of what he felt was needing to be tracked in the discussion in case he needed it for later, but
Okay,
he
so
doesn't
Cade.
just keep a black book in his back pocket on dirt to trash you
Okay,
with, so.
cool. All right, good to know. I think the coffee truce has helped foreign relations really well.
Yeah, probably.
and I had actually thought of a reaction from Nero that I forgot in the intervening days. You
That's
reminded me
okay.
that, yeah, actually, at some point, in passing, just kind of casual and no big to do about it. Just Nero says, "You did good."
When would she have said that? Like when they're eating dinner or something?
Um, no, probably when she's not got food on her mind.
Mm.
Hmm. Wait, is that a thing?
Every now and then. When she's transitioning
I'm gonna
from food to sleep.
I'm gonna say we're like laying in our bunks, and Nero's like staring at the ceiling or something.
Yeah,
Just like randomly thinks about it.
that's perfect.
Okay. All right. So laying in our bunks, the thought comes to your mind. You did good. Got it. Saoirse would be really thankful that it is dark in the room, and she'd just kind of say, "Ta, it wasn't much. I just got angry enough to say something."
I don't think Nero says anything after that.
Saoirse will be like, "Nero, are you awake?
Yes.
Thanks for not jumping the Canute guy,
You
even
fought
though
him with
he's
words for me.
well, I'm no wind cutter, but I'm thankful you didn't rock his world, because could have made things a little messy. But I hope someday you get to."
Can you imagine if your words were a wind cutter? How messy that room would be?
I hadn't thought about it, but it is a fun image.
Nero tries to mimic Saoirse's accent terribly, I might add, and just says things that she thinks Saoirse says, and then makes all these gory sounds like.
You disappoint me. What a load of jerks.
Fatality.
Oh my word. Saoirse will be laughing incredibly hard. So that's end scene.
Perfect.
Can you imagine if your words were on? That's the most. I'm gonna write that in quotes. The most narrow thing. Where's quotes?
Down at it's the last one.
Oh, okay. Somehow breaking the fourth wall had been minimized.
Mm.
So can Cade make the morning alarm be the sound of Nero's throwing the tennis ball against the wall
Oh no!
Oh boy, is he
as a
wanting to set
prank?
up like an alarm to go off across the PA system throughout the ship?
I mean, not terribly loud, just quiet enough that it sounds like somebody's doing it somewhere, and just play it from like a random speaker.
Okay. What time in the morning does he want this to go off?
And not like 5 a.m. I mean, like, we'll call it like 8.
Oh yeah.
Anybody who happens to still be sleeping, thump, thump, thump.
Hmm. Let's see. Give me a what would be appropriate?
Well,
Consider
I can't
whether
roll for a rudeness check, but Andrew told me I'm rude.
yeah. Like I guess she's done it a couple times. I'd say it's probably fair to
Several
think that
times.
he might have thought to record that to use as ammunition later. So yeah, that would be easy enough to do.
Okay. I figure he could also like pull the audio clip out of a holovid if he needed
Mm-hmm.
to.
All right. So who's uh after a night's sleep, who would still be in a bed at 8 a.m.?
Pretty sure I've established Nera as an early riser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have.
I've forgotten for a moment, but I thought I had. So she's already awake when this happens.
Right.
Yeah, Brother Nick's awake for morning prayers before then.
Saoirse is not awake.
She's enjoying her rest. Java is snoozing. All right then. So yeah, Java and Saoirse are both sleeping. I assume. Well, what about Cade? Is he awake to view the impact of his own prank?
I feel like he'd probably be just getting out of bed and
He's
heading
gonna
for
be
the coffee
waking.
machine.
I was gonna say he's just gonna like wake up with like a Cheshire cat grin on his face when he hears the alarm. Just
Yeah. And it'll be quiet enough that it's not gonna like scare somebody awake. It's just gonna be annoying.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what do you guys think with this the sound of the ball bouncing in the distance just wake them up, or might they sleep through it
Have him roll
initially?
mental saving throws.
Yeah, that seems fair. Let's have mental
Okay.
saving throws from Saoirse and Java.
all right.
I think that we did something like that the last time.
Ooh, mental.
Oh dear.
How do mental? There it is.
Java's sleep is not sound enough to resist the power of the ball.
Oh no.
I will.
Why did I just imagine Nimbus when I read Narrow Harmony hears the thump of a ball bouncing from wall to floor to hand and looks around?
I don't actually get the Nimbus reference.
Oh, Nimbus is Ethan's Great Pyrenees.
Okay.
Technically his roommate's Great Pyrenees, but basically his step puppy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ball?
Yeah, exactly. Dog looking around. Ball.
Yep, that's pretty much how it goes down. Java's fully clothed and sleeping on top of his blankets like a barbarian. Rolls out of bed, hears the ball, rubs the eyes to get the sleep out of them. Very quickly makes his way to what he is sure is going to be an entertaining time.
All right. So he goes searching throughout the ship and ends up finding tracking down the source of the noise, but doesn't see anybody or anything. Just hears the sound coming from one of the walls.
So he doesn't find it.
No, I guess give me a notice check. See, he's not he doesn't remember how all these things work in intricate detail, so might be forgetting this could be a thing. He's checked all around.
Notice plus anything?
Uh,
Noticed.
use your wisdom, I think. But no
0.
modifier.
Perfect.
That's a good check.
Okay. He Yeah, I don't know if he's been if he's relearned specifically what speakers are, but he eventually pinpoints the spot in high up in one of the walls that the sound is coming from, and sees a small round disc uh, protruding just barely from the wall. Identifies that as the source of the sound.
Ooh. Now, from that point, sidebar question for Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Here, incoming.
Okay. Let me see.
I mean, yeah. Well, wait. Hello. Hello. Where's this? Who's doing that?
It's just coming over the speakers now.
No, I'm yelling.
Oh.
There are several people around Java, and some of them laying down, but all of them clearly awake in their little pallets, who look at him, look, look a little bit taken aback by what he's doing.
You guys hear that, right?
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
Well, I couldn't tell you that.
Oh snap!
I hear the sound too.
It's getting louder.
Yeah, somebody's playing with the speakers, it seems.
What do you? You mean it's a prank? Or is somebody actually playing ball? Because I was like super down. Is there a place where people do that? Like,
Guy gives him like a. Oh wait, there's a perfect GIF that I immediately thought of. Uh,
So I think Java would actually know that he could probably fire up one of the consoles and figure out if it's a sound or not.
Oh no. And why did you?
the guy makes that kind of face like, I mean, I don't know where you would do that. Uh,
I think I forgot we still have people on our ship too.
I did too.
but there is there's one guy who speaks up from a little farther away and says, "Hey, if you find a ball, I'll bounce it with you."
there's got to be a place where balls are at.
This is a guy who is on the last line of Cats in the Cradle in his life.
He wants Saoirse to throw him off the ship with prejudice.
So
Has
would
Nero
Java
wondered-
know to use the panel? Because I think if he did, he would be asking where a panel is. But I don't know that he would necessarily.
I think he would know. He'd at least know it has something to do with the ship. He just doesn't necessarily know how all that works. I'm kind of leaving it to you to decide how much he does or does not know or understand, given his unique circumstance.
That's true.
I don't want to be in the business of telling you too often what things you do or don't know about just relatively routine things.
I would lean towards he probably doesn't, right? Like if it's outside of his
Mhm.
explicit wheelhouse that's like ingrained into his brain,
Yeah, and he
then
hasn't had somebody show him how to do it again yet.
no.
Um,
So I'm gonna lean towards he
Okay.
probably doesn't know, and he's probably just gonna keep asking or move on when he realizes that these people don't know explicitly what's going on.
So Nero hears the bounce. Does she go looking for it too, or is she just ignoring it?
Well, I don't know. She's definitely not ignoring it, but I don't think she's going to look for it. She is going to look for one of the locations where she has stashed a tennis ball. Because
Okay.
I imagine that Nero has stashed multiple tennis
Hmm.
balls here and there, having found they sometimes go disappearing.
Similar to her Twinkie stash.
That's funny. Okay.
So
Would Nick
So
be nearby? I guess like he'd be up and praying. I mean, I think I would know that, right? Like I would try and find Nick and ask him, "What's up?"
okay. Yeah, you know where he. You've been around him long enough to know he's got a usual spot, or sometime around this point of the morning. Um, he's usually in that that one room next to the armory with the table. Um, Meanwhile, Nero goes the first hiding spot she checks. There's someone's got a pallet set up right next to the panel inside of which she hid the ball.
oh, okay. Well, I'll just scratch out what I typed then.
Oh, okay. Well, um, if she's she's going up there, that could be her second location that she checks.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Um,
She at that pallet where where at that first stash where there was a man sleeping on a pallet. Um, she probably didn't want to disturb him. Kind of looked at the location for a moment, tried to remember if there's actually one there, if it's actually worth disturbing him, and then moves on to her secondary location.
okay.
And yeah, she's gonna open the turret door and see if Victor's inside there.
So she opens the door and is greeted by moderately loud snoring coming from above.
Is it Victor? He looks up.
It is. She sees his one of his metallic arms hanging out over the ladder, basically.
She knows there's a ball in here, so she is going to close the door behind her, climb up as quietly as she can.
Okay. Sneak check
Sneak check,
with Dex.
right? Almost rolled a shoot check. Don't want to do that.
Yeah, she's trying to sneak up there,
Watch
accidentally
her roll like a
fires her
nat
laser
12.
pistol.
Yeah.
Okay.
The burst of the guns just happens to sound like a
Alright.
tennis ball against the wall.
My stars.
All right, so she gets to the top of the ladder, and she is able to very carefully uh, contort herself around his outstretched arm. And
LOL. Do
she
we
can
have
reach.
security cameras in there? Because I'm gonna die if Kate is watching all
I
of
think
it.
we've already established that there are, yeah.
Yes, there is one. I'm guessing she. I think it's safe to say she stuck the ball in one of the little pockets underneath the super adjustable and flexible seat for the turret in which Victor is sleeping.
Yeah, that
But
works.
she's able to reach under that and find the pocket and extract the ball carefully without disturbing Victor whatsoever.
Fantastic. All right. Ball in hand, she climbs back down the ladder and out into the ship, looking for somewhere where there aren't people immediately present, and she has room to throw a ball.
Well, she makes her way around the ship and pretty quickly realizes that all of the common areas of the ship have people in the way.
What about this little hallway and this airlock?
She opens the door and comes face to face with Brother Nick.
No, not the actual armory.
No, he has
Oh, I see. He
he's
just
come
opened the
out, yeah.
armory door.
She opens the
Yeah,
little
that's
door to
right.
the
I guess
hallway
that's
and
Java and me out there.
Java's there too. All right. So aside from those two, are there anybody here?
in this tiny little hallway, other than those two people taking up the entirety of that space, no, there is no one else there.
Okay. And each square was what, 1 meter or 2 meters?
I believe it's one. I think it's 1
Eh,
meter.
12 feet. That's still enough to satisfy her for now.
At this point, Saoirse's actual alarm would have gone off. And she would have shuffled through the door in search of coffee. About this time that, if this is all right with you, about this time that Nero says something about that, she'll hear a almost inhuman kind of grunting noise from the doorway. And she looks over, she'll see Saoirse in clothes too big for her and her hair kind of sticking up on one end. And she'll grumble something out about their quarters.
Oh, let's see. So by now there would have been Cade would have seen as he's watching the camera, uh, observing the place he made the sound come from. Would have seen, other than Java, a couple of the Uralans on the ship wander in, looking around, confused and mildly upset, trying to find the source of this sound, especially after it got louder. And
Is Brother Nick able to shut it down?
Let's see. Is that what he's wanting to go and do?
Yeah, I think typing out there or whatever. That
I think Cade would make it look like he did it, no matter if he succeeded or failed.
Okay. Yeah, Brother Nick would have at least a vague idea of that he would need to get on one of the panels, although he's not very familiar with the that particular part of the ship systems. But yeah, give me a program check from Brother Nick. Program with intelligence.
I don't think I put anything in that. So this will be interesting.
I guess he has at least Java watching over his shoulder as he goes to find a panel.
Oh, actually, if
Does
they're
Nero just start bouncing it while they're in the hallway there?
no, if she was gonna go back to quarters as Saoirse suggested, but if they're just gonna walk away, this seems like it's a good secluded place. Are they actually walking like out of this area, or are they able to do what Brother Nick wants to do from within here?
Let's see. I'm gonna say that Brother Nick thinks he'd have a better chance of getting it done if he goes to one of the consoles here outside the bridge.
Mm. Well, no, I'll finish up here. Does Java follow Brother Nick?
Oh, he's gonna watch Nick try and use this panel.
Okay, then yeah, I'll quit typing here. Yeah, after Saoirse grumbled quarters at Nero, she took that as a quick invitation to come on over here, and she is going to try and match her throw to the thump from the speakers.
Clever.
Yeah, and the sound is clear enough that she can pretty easily do that. Um, and yeah, she realizes pretty quickly, oh wow, this is like exactly the speed I like to bounce it at. How convenient.
I wonder why that is.
Right.
Saoirse momentarily would have been distracted by the pot of coffee that was already made.
Mm-hmm.
Is Cade anywhere near the coffee pot?
He's in the area. Yeah.
Okay. As
He
in,
already has his coffee though.
okay. Wait,
He like
where's he at?
slyly checking his data slab every so often to see the
Oh,
cameras.
he's probably standing in the corner.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Accurate.
In the corner of like gotcha, the galley.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw the source of sound. That's so perfect because Nero's so close to that.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Cade and Saoirse both watched, Brother Nick come out. I don't know what his demeanor was, but Java trailing close behind. What would Brother Nick's demeanor have been?
He was awake, but it definitely looks like a dad who was taken away from something he was working on.
Uh-oh.
He's got at the very least a stern expression on his face, very intent. So yeah, Brother Nick goes and Java is watching closely to see what he does. And Brother Nick, he's starts going and he's trying to find settings and audio, and he starts he realizes that he's not exactly sure where to go to do this, but he's kind of vaguely poking around. He's got an idea of what it should probably say, and so he's poking around in the menus trying to find something to turn off the speakers or find whatever's making the sound happen. Um, Kate is able to observe all this on uh, from where he's at, and at the moment he chooses, while Brother Nick is still sort of uh, wandering through the settings, trying to toggle things and figure out what's going on, the sound stops.
Well, sort of.
Yeah.
That's
Kid
perfect.
probably waits until he's actually pressing something to like either
Mhm.
attempt it or go to the next screen and then triggers it to deactivate the sound.
Yeah. Yeah, Brother Nick might be momentarily a tad bit confused, but the sound has stopped. Mission
For
accomplished.
Sort of.
clarity, the shipwide sound has stopped. Nero is
Yes.
still bouncing.
Oh, that's true.
So he'll scratch his head at that, and he's like, "I thought for sure that fixed it."
So it gets a lot quieter,
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
but then I can still hear it.
Okay, he'll try to
Um,
follow the sound of the dollar thumping.
after Saoirse's taken a couple sips of coffee, she's starting to wake up more. And she just hears the incessant thumping. She's going to look up. Is she going to see her doing this right in front of her, or is she in the armory hiding?
So she's over in the quarters.
Yeah.
She went back
Oh,
to.
she did go to the quarters?
Yeah, she
Mhm.
did.
So about this time, Caldwell comes in. He's looking around. He sees Saoirse and Cade both here. and stops short. Is everything all right? I started hearing a sort of thumping sound. Doesn't sound like a normal ship thing.
It's relatively normal when some people get bored.
Ah, well, fair enough. Just wanted to check.
It might be early, but it happens.
He sort of waves a dismissive hand. Very well then. I apologize. Just a little paranoid, being on a strange ship is all. Uh, carry on. Uh, have a meeting to attend soon with Bishop. Representative Miho has uh,
Coffee's
arranged a
ready if you
meeting to.
want some.
Oh, he cuts off what he was saying. Yeah, definitely. Uh, looks very eager to go over and fill up a cup.
Kate will take his alibi and show him where the coffee pot is.
And so he'll then just continue on to uh, prattle a little bit about a meeting that they have with the Anagris representative to sort out their paperwork to establish their status as Anagran refugees. Um, and or I guess I should say temporary residents of Anagris. And um, I guess Brother Nick and Java wander through the same room, going looking for the sound.
Oh no.
What is Brother
Dum-dum.
Nick just is he hoping that he's gonna just be able to disconnect the speaker, or what is he thinking he's gonna have to do at this point?
Yeah, I guess he was thinking just local to the speaker. So trying to follow the noise.
Well, he comes to and passes the place where Java had been hearing it from before, and by this time can recognize the clearer echo coming off of the maybe the wall or occasionally the door to Nero and Saoirse's quarters.
Yeah, almost certainly the door. I think she'll have marked out through the impact of the tennis ball, mind, a ideal target for hitting the door. It's flat and it bounces perfectly from there. Now, I will say that I imagine that Nero's bouncing, the actual physical non-speaker bouncing, is only carrying to the ship because we have crew or passengers and we've got all the doors, intervening doors open. Like, it wouldn't carry this far if we had all these walls and doors closed, would it?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Mm, it's a good question.
Although I
I-
guess it's just a giant tin can, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't be too surprised. The sound would reverberate through the walls to some extent. I haven't exactly mathed out physical the physical properties of the walls and doors and all the connectors. uh,
Okay,
yeah,
well,
Java speaks up about the difference in the sound. Yeah, it was definitely much quieter than the the sound Kate had ramped it up to.
dum 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 dum.
There comes a
Yeah,
knock on
so,
the door, I guess.
yeah,
sorry,
Brother
go ahead.
Nick will knock.
Yeah. Knock on it.
Oh, I missed part of that. They were knocking on the door there.
Mm-hmm.
The thumping stops. What?
So, Nero, was that you throwing your tennis ball?
Yes. He walks up and opens the door.
How'd you make it come out of the speaker like that?
I didn't do that.
But you just said it was you.
Yeah, I was just throwing the tennis ball.
That's the sound I heard.
She looks at him. Yes.
But it was coming out of the speaker, too. Everyone heard it, not just me. I'm not crazy. They checked.
They checked.
she nods again, still just looking at Java. Yes.
A couple bystanders nod in agreement to back up Java's claim.
So you did. The speaker was you, right?
No.
I don't understand.
He looks between Java and Brother Nick. I heard the bouncing on the speaker and I wanted to bounce the ball.
That's what I wanted to do.
You can bounce with me.
Okay. I still want to know what's up with the speaker.
You hear a voice from a little ways away. Can I join too?
Oh yeah, I told him he could play with us. If we found a ball. I hope that's okay.
Okay.
Nero very conspicuously having a ball in hand. I just imagined her like having the impulse to put it behind her back.
I was thinking the same thing. but she still says, okay.
What's a game that 3 people can play with a ball?
Monkey in the middle.
The other guy is suddenly standing next to Java.
Keep away.
Nero comes out of the room and are there a whole bunch of people in here?
There are a couple.
Aren't they parked in a hangar though?
So they had kind of spread all throughout the ship.
I mean, isn't the ship in a hangar?
Oh no. The I guess we didn't clarify the exact nature of the docking, but no. The ship is basically attached at the airlock, docked in that way.
Okay.
The ship is out
That's a
in
bummer then.
space.
Hmm.
Let me.
Well, Nero asks the couple of people that are in here, can we use this space?
Yeah, they both kind of shrug and grab a couple other things and head on out. They just leave their pallets there and they wander off somewhere else in the ship.
Nero looks over at Java and the other guy. Do we need a game? It's just throwing a ball against the wall. He moves back over here and demonstrates. He throws a ball against the wall at such an angle that it bounces back towards somebody else.
Java catches the ball and then throws it a little bit harder.
Yeah, the other guy He does just a little jump to catch it at its little higher spot and lands. And he looks at both of them. He says, "Yeah, we go in order. And if you make the next person miss it, get a point."
Ooh.
Little crook of a grin from Nero. Okay.
I like it.
Nero was
And the-
content to just throw the ball against the wall. Now he's added competition to it.
And the game is on. Meanwhile, someone else just over the coffee maker, Cade starts hearing bouncing, faster paced bouncing of the ball and grunts and crashes of boots on the the deck.
Hey, there is a silver
Oh.
lining to this. Normally, when Nero throws the ball against the wall, there's two thumps. The ball hits the wall, it then hits the floor between the wall and Nero, and there's a second thump. This time, there's just one loud thump, because it goes straight to the wall and then back. No floor thump. Silver lining.
All right. Well,
I love that we've spent so much time role playing absolute nothing, like just daily crap. That's great, but
Hey, side prank.
That was awesome.
We were just going to be doing politics anyway.
I mean, I needed a break from politics, so I'm totally fine with it. It's just like I love that we just spent so much time doing that.
Yeah.
All right. So, how is Cade feeling about the results of his prank?
Oh, he's pretty satisfied. He seems to have got away with it. Slightly surprised that Nero wasn't automatically assumed to have been the one, but yeah, whatever. He wasn't really trying to get her in trouble anyway.
Yeah. It was turned out pretty nicely. Nero's now found a new way to kill time. Let's see. So Saoirse gets a message from Ahmed, and it just says, yeah, "Is there anything you need from me today?"
Who'd he ask that of?
Saoirse.
Okay.
She's gonna text him back, message him back, and ask if he has any earplugs.
He replies, "No, but that he imagines she could find something that would work in the med bay, or perhaps the equipment closet." Now, out of character here, you guys had been asked to meet with Martin Alder. He hadn't given a specific time, but he just indicated that he's on the station and would like to meet with you as soon as you're available. So, did you guys have anything you needed to do before you go and meet him?
Yeah, I think seeing if there are other ships like the Prudence. They're trying to find that out with the sources of info we have available.
Okay.
So I think we said asking Ahmed and trying to search the copy database from the Sons of Glory.
Okay. So, Cade would remember from the time he spent looking for exactly that kind of information about ships or anything like that, because they had found out about a ship in the hangar at the time, that the database it seemed to be almost completely lacking any information on ships. The only information you were even able to get on this one from that database was that there was a scheduled event for the ship leaving, and that was basically it. As far as Ahmed's concerned, uh, you guys would just want to pose that question to him straight.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. He would say that he doesn't know if they specifically have any others like it. They kept information about secret projects like that pretty well segregated, but he does know that the Tabukan Navy are in orbit. So he knows that there are other ships, at least of a comparable spike drive rating, that are in the Navy.
Well, good to know.
So the Sons of Glory likely have at least another ship or two. Depends on how many they have under their direct control or influence. He knows they'd likely have more that have pre-tech drives, but they wouldn't necessarily be the same hull. Um, it might be the same class. It might be larger. Um, almost definitely would be a different sort of configuration, because this one was a fairly unusual project, I guess. With that
So you
pretty
said,
well. Okay.
yeah, it confirms our main question that other ships with spike drives like this could exist, along with manufacturing capabilities for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know that the that shipyard would definitely have the ability to manufacture them. You would know that at least a significant portion of the Tabukan fleet ships would have at least pre-tech drives, if not necessarily drive 5. Is there anything else you'd like to get from his knowledge before you move on to something else?
Can y'all think of any follow-ups to that? I was thinking because we don't want to just give Martin the Prudence right now. We kind of need it for stuff.
Yeah, I don't.
Being
If
able
we
to
get a
point 'em to-
message back to Tabuk, we can have the other ship brought.
Now that one is a plain old drill 2. That was a Uralin ship. Or well,
Yeah.
Jank.
not a Uralin ship, but it was a, I guess I should say, civilian ship.
It is, but it's an infiltrator, and it would give them some space capability.
Mm-hmm.
That was just my thought. That
Yeah.
if they're gonna need a ship, then I mean, we do have an extra one. But yeah, let's not give up the prudence.
Yeah, I'm on board with not giving up this awesome ship. Has many
wouldn't be
places to bounce
prudent.
balls.
Oh,
Boo.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
it hurts. You said it first.
I know, right? None of you were saying it.
Just nobody tell Nair that they make ships bigger than this. Some that
With-
include actual
With bigger
sports
guns.
facilities inside them.
Yeah, I'm thinking more along Ben's line of thinking there. You mean some ships have walls specifically designed for bouncing balls?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I was gonna say, whatever ship you guys eventually commission, or whatever modifications you eventually have made onto some sort of ship,
Needs a lot of free cargo space.
I'm thinking it's gonna be like a luxury cabins type deal, where there's, sports facilities inside the ship, attached to the sleeping quarters. I'm loving the back and forth during the ball game.
And this poor third guy here is like,
It's like there are higher stakes here than I
What?
realized.
He's like, what happens if I win? Probably like, if I win, you two shut up.
I mean, he hasn't said what he wants.
No, so far he's seemed content to just enjoy the game, play along.
Mhm.
He's definitely
the
made
banter.
some. Yeah, he's made some intrigued faces at certain things they've said that are just vague enough that without context it's really difficult to figure out what they're talking about.
They're gonna become like the new ship for all the refugees. They're gonna be like, oh, there's this cute oblivious couple.
Hmm.
there you go,
All
more
right.
fodder.
So, got a gotten past that point. Are you guys ready for 1B? Going and actually meeting with Martin?
Sure.
Yeah,
I think so.
definitely ready for meeting with Martin. Hold on, though, I gotta plug in my laptop. Shoot, where is it?
I
Okay.
feel like you'd have to separate us from our high stakes game of catch the ball.
I think Saoirse would be totally content to just leave them in their
Oh.
game of
Oh.
catch the ball.
Oh.
Feel confident enough you don't need the extra security?
No, that's fair.
All right. Let's see here.
I mean, Brother Nick is still, ample security.
All right. How do you guys want to decide who wins this? I'm assuming you guys do want to actually find out who wins.
I'm thinking that like we would probably be asked to leave, right? And I feel like
Those
Java would
exert checks, baby.
basically
And
be
you
like,
should do an exert check for the random guy.
Oh, definitely. I'll just throw my 2 cents. I'm kind of thinking like a best 2 out of 3 with exert checks using strength, dex, and con.
Oh my word.
I think last one standing, right? One final throw for everyone, last one standing.
Okay.
That works out.
Just banking on that one lucky roll.
I mean, would you say that any of us have missed the ball, or are we all even in score? Because if we're all even in score, then it could simply be whoever was next up when we got interrupted.
Yeah, I'd say you guys are all at least pretty evenly matched.
Okay,
Uh,
but
in
not all exactly the same points.
No, that's boring.
Okay, fair enough. um,
Um,
I'm down for either suggestion, either the 3 rolls with the 3 stats, or just one roll. We can make them attack rolls.
Party hard now.
Seems fair and
I mean,
balanced.
isn't there a throw attack roll?
Yeah. And it uses your stab
So
or
yeah, why
punch.
not?
Stab
that's-
or exert, I think. It can be used for it.
That's not how that works. These are skill checks.
Aww.
You're not trying to hit anyone.
Critical
If
hit.
anything, you're actually trying to miss the other
That's even harder, Ben.
person. It is in some cases.
Alright, so what do you want us to roll then?
All right, so allow me to. Yeah, let's do let's do exert with Constitution.
Oh,
All right. So as it comes down to the wire, that the final score that you're all aiming for, Narrow manages a narrow lead
Mhm.
and clutches it, ending just a couple points ahead of the other two. The Uralin bodyguard ends up kind of bending over, hands on his knees, panting a bit. That was fun. Grins at the two of them.
They're smiling back.
Guess I lucked out. I didn't hear anything I had to do if anybody won, so he gives a little playful salute and strides off to go find some water, mopping the sweat off his brow.
Nara raises the ball victoriously. Looks over at Java. Yes. You have to make sure we don't get caught next time.
you just said to. No. You just said we had to get past Nick.
Well, he's the one that's catching us.
So I have to make sure we don't get caught too. Okay. I'll see what I can do.
Man, he just took that. All right. So yeah, about this time, the group message goes out. Hey, time to get ready and go meet Alder. Something along those lines, anyway. All right, so a short while later, crew finds themselves over in the VIP quarters on the station, being escorted um, by an attendant uh, bearing the Alder logo. Does anybody want to fill in? I guess, has anyone filled in Cade and Java on Martin Alder at all?
I think Saoirse would kind of give him a rough rundown on their way to meet Martin Alder.
Okay. Hitting the highlights, the reason that you guys are meeting him, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Okay. Take that as my cue to sort of give the broad recap. I don't remember if we really covered
Be
this last
lovely.
time.
Some out of character. Yeah.
Okay. Well, just to reiterate, since there's been a lot going on, this guy is a very wealthy and also very well connected Anagran, CEO of some huge corporation. Uh, the crew didn't necessarily know a lot of info about him at the time, but Boris had managed to get a meeting with him. And he had been looking for someone to go and rescue/recover the crew and the ship that he had already sent to go and investigate this foreign ship of unknown origin that had come across the long-range sensors in the Anagras system. At the time, he'd had enough connections to have the knowledge of that ship pretty well quashed, long enough for him to get the first jab at it. That's where the crew first encountered the Jakari, the aliens. They fought a few of them in a few different forms. Ended up jerry-rigging some plasma thrower sort of situation that using chemicals off their ship to uh, burn away some of these things. Did got pretty messy, kind of cleaning out the ship, but
Nero had actually
it's
noped
also
out of that.
yeah. There was some conflict about the nature of the aliens and all that. But they did find remains, or at least evidence that there had been a crew, and they made the connection to Tabuk, which was at the time unknown, returned with the rudder in hand, which turned out was Mr. Alder's primary goal in sending them there anyway. And then he promptly sent them off with the instruction to, well, I guess they also came back with bits and pieces of a pre-tech drive that had been on the ship but was destroyed in whatever put it off course. And so Martin Alder sent them across into this previously unknown sector, instructed them to bring back either a pre-tech drive or the means to produce one, and promised them an incredible amount of credits. Uh, left it somewhat open ended, but promised them at least 1 million credits more if the more they performed beyond his expectations, the more they could get paid. So Um, yeah, that's what he's wanting to know about, almost definitely.
And I believe it's available to everybody, but there is a handout. Walton Alder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's a picture of him. He definitely he came off fairly eccentric.
Sorry to say it, but that the Onion's TikTok video has ruined the image of Martin Alder for me.
Oh wait,
Where's his handout?
it's in the journal tab on Roll20.
Ah, okay.
There's an NPCs section, and then there are several subcategories there. But he's in the, I guess, in the main level of it.
Gracias.
De nada. All right, so party arrives at a door. The attendant gestures toward it and motions them, indicates they should go on in, and the guards at either side of the door, also wearing Alder logo and uniforms, nod in approval and watch as the party enters. And you come into a very well furnished apartment. It's basically a suite. And find Mr. Alder himself. He's got a bit of a spread, got some charcuterie and drinks available.
Dang, charcuterie. Fancy.
Having gotten your message that you were ready to meet. And he jumps to his feet and throws his arms out wide, his suit catching the light as usual. And welcome,
Word.
everyone. My, it's good to see you. It feels like it's been forever. I was so looking forward to meeting you. I'd heard you slipped past me the last visit, but I knew I had to be here the next time that you came through. Please, please, sit, and drink and eat and enjoy. We'll get down to business soon.
It's
I,
so nice to meet you, Mr. Alder.
he does. He starts slightly, and says, "Yes, of course. I see you've acquired some new crew." And he reaches and shakes Java's, takes Java's hand and shakes it vigorously, and then does a second sweep across the group and says, "Now, where is Boris? Isn't he? Oh no, I do hope he's all right. And that other girl, he snaps his fingers, but he's looking around at Nero and Brother Nick and Saoirse for some sort of explanation.
Nero is intently focused on the charcuterie board. I just looked up what the charcuterie is, and it's just all meats. Wow, that's amazing.
Cheeses and fruits.
What? I don't.
It's
No.
fancy. It's fancy adult Lunchables. Yep.
Crackers and olives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see. Oh, this is a great one. This right here. Boom. The Alder spread.
That doesn't look like it has nearly enough meat on it, Ben.
It's fancy though.
Well, I'm sure Nero notices there are there are multiple waiter-like people around who are watching closely to see what everyone is up to,
Well,
with the
she's
drinks
not
and the food.
gonna ask them for anything. She sees food and she's gonna partake of the food that's there.
How much of that meat is left when she gets through getting her portion?
Well, are there plates, or is it just kind of the kind of thing that you pick up some stuff and eat it and then go back to talking to people?
Oh yeah, they're little plates.
Oh, okay.
They're far smaller than she was expecting or hoping for, but she probably hasn't experienced this kind of thing, and there's some very strange-looking things on this platter that she doesn't recognize.
She's definitely going for those first. Yeah, no, she's not like she of course she likes meat, but she, as you've seen, eats everything.
hmm Yeah. So between Saoirse and Brother Nick, is either one of them going to respond to Alder's question about um, Boris, and the implication was Signy?
Yes, I guess Brother Nick would offer. Yes, we have had some changes in crew members, but Boris is still around, though not sure quite where he is this morning. We can try to get him to come to the meeting if you'd like.
Ooh, well, no matter. If he's no longer with the crew, that's quite all right, and none of my business precisely. My business is with whoever is carrying out the mission that I sent you on. If he's out of the picture, that's fine. More his loss. So yes. Anyway, he he kind of he he kind of goes up on almost on tiptoes, kind of looking to see what everyone, if everyone has drinks or food in hand, uh, sort of leaning in towards the charcuterie area. And as soon as everyone has uh, taken some, then we'll get right down to business. Oh yes, and then he scurries off uh, and goes into some other room of the suite, and you hear his voice kind of muttering to himself distantly.
Any chance to make out anything he's saying?
No, it's pure gibberish.
Okay.
Just old man crazy talk to himself. Especially as far as Nero's concerned. She's got other more important things on her mind.
She does.
Um, but he comes back pretty soon with some sort of little device in his hand, and just he pockets it and then makes another quick round around the group, kind of nodding at everyone and saying hi. He, uh, then sits down and says, "Yes, well, everyone, sit. Let's discuss. Tell me, what news do you have? How goes the mission? I've heard that you came back in a different ship than the one you left in." And he has a a very intent sparkle in his eye, saying that.
Feel about that?
You still there,
Yeah, I'm still
Danielle?
here.
Okay.
She just trailed off.
Okay. Yeah. So he turns to look and looks at her expectantly.
See, Yrola currently has the ship that you sent us with.
Hmm. Hmm, interesting enough. He chuckles a little to himself and mutters something that's still loud enough for all of you to hear, um, along the lines of, some people would be very interested to know about that. Um, but he seems to think that or he doesn't seem to realize that he said that out loud because he just continues watching Saoirse
Hmm.
and waiting for her to say something more.
This ship we have now is came to us under some interesting circumstances.
Ooh, I bet they did.
She'll look over at Brother Nick.
Oh,
So, what's it packing?
oh.
Might help if you guys would say out of character who's going to take up the next bit of conversation. That would. Unless you
You
guys
wanted to
already know.
pass off to Brother Nick, Danielle?
Yeah, I think Saoirse did pass it off to Brother Nick, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I thought that might have been the implication, but that might help just to spell it out.
Makes sense. Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Would the pomegranate be like prepared, or is it the whole pomegranate?
I don't remember.
No, it's just the whole
relevant.
thing.
Okay. Yeah. So, I suppose anyone that knows that the whole pomegranate is dangerous might be concerned for Nero.
Out of character, I'm over here like, you don't know what you did.
Yeah. So, is she about to just take a bite out of the fruit itself, not just the seeds?
Yeah, I imagine she's probably fine with that because it's natural, like
Mm-hmm.
food,
Oh yeah.
not actually man-made poison.
Right. She'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
But they don't know that.
they don't. So let's see. She
I think Cade would probably say something and be like, "Nero, the seeds are edible." Like he's not gonna be paying attention to her at all. So like she definitely get a bited, but would be like, "Wait, what
yeah, I was gonna say as so is he heading her off before she takes a bite out of it?
No, probably after. Be
Okay.
like
Yeah, so if
not even looking at her and just kind of keep a track of the conversation, and then here's this very unusual sound of crunching and
yeah.
things that are not typical for eating pomegranate. And look over and be like,
Mhm.
"Nero, the rind is edible."
Yeah, when right as Nero chomps into it, she hears kind of a strangled yelp from behind her, and one of the waiters has lunged forward and grabs her shoulder and says, "No, don't eat that. What, are you mad?" Like is reaching to like try to force her jaw open,
she backs away from, or not backs away, but, like she's sitting, so she does that
Yeah, recoils from
lean,
him.
get away from me. What?
Around her mouthful.
Yeah, sorry. What?
Okay, let's see. Give me a Oh, I want to do this. It's probably unnecessary completely, but I feel like the guy is. I mean, he's persisting and like
Innovation check.
he's like falling over the couch at this point, like trying to reach her mouth. Is she persisting in trying to like avoid him, or is
Yeah, she
she?
doesn't want this guy doing
All
whatever he
right.
wants to do with her mouth and face. This is no.
Okay, so this is. I'm gonna say this is a
He's trying to
contested.
save you, Nero.
Yeah, this is definitely like a contested, probably exert check with dexterity.
Okay.
All right, so she is just barely able to fend him off, and of course, at this point, everyone in the room has noticed, and Martin stood up and says, "Woman, let him spit that out. That's poison. What are you doing?"
I
His voice suddenly
can't
more deep and intent.
I can't imagine she has not swallowed it by this point.
Okay, yeah. So she, the waiter is just looking at her like aghast, as he realizes he noticed her swallow, and
What do you mean poison? What's poison?
The rind is toxic, Nero.
the waiter
You
is just
eat
kind
the
of listening.
little seeds inside.
Nero looks at everyone. Why is the rind on here then?
They spoil fast. You have to cut it.
She makes a little
Man,
more
out of
face.
character, she would probably be okay, but like, should not keep doing that.
Yeah.
The waiter
Note
is
to the
like,
viewers: do not eat pomegranate rind.
She makes a little
yeah.
face. Doesn't taste very good anyways.
Well, eat it without the rind. Cut it open. Try some of the seeds. They're pretty good.
Yeah, I think at that, Brother Nick would reach over and just kind of invert or like split the pomegranate and invert it to dump out some seeds for Nero.
Yeah, the waiters are kind of scurrying about in the background, trying to figure out what to do about it. Um, the they seem to just they seem to have settled on observing and waiting to see what happens to Nero.
Oh yeah, I guess seeing the waiters, he'll also reassure them that she has cyberware that should let her be able to eat it without any issue.
Okay, the the waiter who was still kind of like shaking just a bit gives a very overt sigh of relief and goes and sits down, just holds his head in his hand.
Nero looks over at Brother Nick. It does that too.
So it means you can eat anything.
She looks at Cade. I can eat anything?
I don't recommend that. I was asking that, Nero.
She looks back over at Brother Nick.
Martin is just very confused at this point.
Poor
I would
guy
be
came
too.
for a meeting about a ship.
Perhaps you lot should explain to her how her augmentations work sometime. But maybe now is not the best time. Maybe we could get back to business.
Yes.
Don't mean to push, but his his demeanor has changed just slightly. He actually looks slightly perturbed, which is an expression you've not seen on him before. But after a few moments, he clears up and he's back to his usual smiley self. But yes, you were explaining how this ship came to you under unusual circumstances. And he's looking back and forth between Saoirse and Brother Nick.
Yeah, so I guess diving into, I guess not sure how much they want to tell him about the ship. I'll use that opportunity and say, yes, have you heard about the Sons of Glory, Mr. Alder?
Bits and pieces. He gives kind of a self-deprecating grin. May have gotten most of the notes from your meetings, but yes, I know that they're up to no good, and I see that. I suppose then that you took your ship from them.
He'll nod at that and yes. In our while we were last on Tabuk, we raided a Sons of Glory facility and decided to liberate that ship for our own use.
And he looks like he's about to burst at this point. Tell me, man, what's it got? What kind of drive?
Say, yeah, I see, and it can't dodge it. I'll say it has several useful modifications, but as to your question, it has drive 5.
He lets out just a little yelp at that. Comes to his feet with a fist pump. And then does just like a little oh, okay, hold on. Oh, where is it? I need that. Does like a little spin jig
Wow.
and then this is bald. He sits back down, just grinning ear to ear. Ah, oh, that's incredible. I could hardly have imagined you. Mm, mm.
Well, I think we can do you one better.
He looks almost goggling at Saoirse. What? How?
Yeah, when he's looking at her, she'll mention that okay, out of character, what was it called that we believe the Tabukans have that creates ships like this.
Oh, the shipyard,
Yeah.
the Pretech shipyard. Yeah.
Oh, I was muted.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, coughing really is annoying with the game.
She'll.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Was there something you wanted to add, Cade? I mean, Robert.
Oh, no, I was literally just going to be like, you mean a Pretech shipyard?
Yeah, that was it.
We said it at almost the same time, too, Ben.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So she'll say, the people who we got this ship from have an entire Pretech shipyard. They made this ship specifically to be taken to Tabuk, from Tabuk, but to be taken to Yarola to drop off bioweapons. We were able to intercept it and stop it from that, but we think they're capable of much more than this on a much more useful sized ship. We think if we're able to use this ship, we could possibly help to squash the Tabukan threat, but we could also get your men inside their Pretech shipyard. Or you might be able to make a deal with Tabuk.
He seems extremely interested in that. Oh my. That's better than I could have imagined. See the gears turning. Of course, the fact that this is on Tabuk means, well, some difficulty will present itself in tapping into that asset. But your ship is here. I don't suppose
Sorry, go ahead.
he seems. There's like a hint of hesitation in his voice here, like he's picking up on what you're putting down.
Something she'll interject is, well, the first assignment we were given was a difficult quandary, and yet we delivered. Better than you thought we could.
Fair.
We're more than happy, of course, to let you and your experts take a look at it, but we would like to offer and ask that we be given a chance to use this to gain even greater access for you.
So, I suppose I don't suppose the offer of 3 million credits, more than the value of your ship, would be enough to persuade you otherwise.
Saoirse's working really hard on training her face.
Give me a perform check.
See how good she is at like not looking bug-eyed at that number. That I'm terrible at. What attribute for perform? Sorry.
I would be inclined to say charisma.
I'm also crap at that. Yeah.
So yeah,
all the world is a stage, and I shouldn't be on it.
Everyone notices Saoirse's eyebrows dart up briefly before she makes just a brief face of some kind and then back to a neutral expression. He's and Martin Alder is just grinning hopefully at her, and his eyes are darting around the room to see everyone else's reactions to that.
Oh, I'm actually typing it out right now.
Okay, nice.
Before I do the other thing. There you go. That's her reaction.
Totally not paying attention at all to what he said. All right, so does anyone say or do anything other than what Saoirse has done so far in response to that offer he just dropped in the room?
How much is our ship worth?
Is that in character or out of character?
Oh, that's in character. He's gonna ask because he said three. He said 3 million more than the ship was worth,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't know how much the ship's worth. Now he's curious. Why do people want it so bad?
So, has anyone what am I trying to say? Does anyone think that their character might have mapped this out, or at least approximately?
Cade could probably approximate it.
Okay. That would be I'd say that would be a fix check most likely, or perhaps a pilot check. If you happened to have reason to know the specs and such. Maybe. Well, I could see that being administer. That would fall under the scope there.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
kind of thinking he'd be more aware of the fact that Tabuk had really high technology levels and like would have an idea of the general classes of ships retail value, but I
yeah,
don't think he would know the exact specs.
yeah. This one, I mean, he
It's like I
definitely,
guess it would be like napkin math, ballpark
yeah,
it.
he'd know that this is a very unusual ship, and it's got a lot of customization built into it that increases the value significantly. And just besides the actual TL5 drive that's in it being a
Yeah,
valuable thing. Um, let's see.
I mean,
know.
I think it would be more appropriate for Brother Nick to state the price, but I think it would be reasonable to say that Cade could say it's at least more than this.
Yeah. Okay. You would know that. Let's see. Yeah, I could say that Cade would know that the ship is. Let me just double check one thing very quickly here. Because I have the actual price. Looking at, okay.
Well, I'm
Yeah, he
already
would.
at about 2.3 million just from the mods and a couple of the fittings and the hull.
Yeah, I think that he would know, just ballparking off of the top of his head, um, that it's worth a good bit over. It's probably worth a good bit over 2 million.
Okay. Then he'll kind of half shrug and say, look at Java and say, it's got to be worth at least more than 2 million. I can't imagine Tabuk selling anything of this size and class for less than 2 mil. And it's pretty custom. And he'd look at Brother Nick, kind of raise an eyebrow.
Saoirse would cough and feel just when if Martin Alder, not Molten Ardor. Sorry, I just had like a mini stroke.
Can we rename him to that?
Alton Ardor. Let's not. Oh my word.
I mean, you guys can
First
call him whatever you want.
canoodling and now Malton Ardor. Oh. Anyway, she'll try and get her voice to uh well, as generous an offer as that is, Mr. Elder, I do think that given the fate of the Earlham people hanging in the balance, as well as this planet, we may need to put that on the back burner for now and focus on how we can best use this ship now. I'm not sure if you've been listening in to the CIS assembly, but there's much going on that could be putting our entire sector at danger.
Ah. Yes, well, so you're wanting to hair off with it back into all that dangerous mix. Take the fight to the man.
Well, it was in the dangerous mix to begin with. It was sort of, made for the dangerous mix.
His demeanor takes a little bit of a shift, and gets a tad bit more serious than he tends to be. Now, you aren't going to go and lose it, I hope. You're just going for a quick trip and then coming back. I suppose you're taking some aid or some word of the CIS support.
That remains to be seen, but if we don't help,
She'll pause for a second and then she'll say,
bad things happen when good people wait around and do nothing.
That
We
catches.
have to.
Oh, sorry, good. I'll type.
sorry, she'll just say,
We've decided that regardless of what the CIS determines, we're going to need to do something. We have too many people on the other side that need our help.
Okay. Give me a lead check from Saoirse.
great.
This can be with either wisdom or charisma.
Okay. You know I am not using charisma.
I always
Were
forget
you
that
still
it's
wanting someone to roll for the ship's price or value, Ben?
yeah, if you think Brother Nick would have poked around in the specs of the ship and tried to figure that out, you could
Yeah,
do a
I see
fixed
what I
roll.
consulted.
He is the TL5 aficionado.
True. Okay. So,
God bless you, Ethan. That was a good roll.
Wow, yeah.
all right. So I will make sure to get you the exact price here in a minute. I'm cross-referencing real quick to just make sure that I have the correct things. That I have the correct version in this other location. But also, Martin Alder, he pauses for about a solid minute, just looking at Saoirse, seeming like he's kind of trying to get a measure of her. And he eventually uh, he seems to visibly relent, leans back, and says, "Very well. I see you're set on your course. You have plans with that ship. You did say that I could have my people look at it, though, correct?
Of
How
course.
much time will you give me?"
Hmm.
And
She'll look sincerely thoughtful at that.
I
And then
assume
she'll look
full
over.
access to the system.
Huh?
He said, I assume you'll grant my technicians full access to the specs in the system.
Oh, I can't see a reason why not. We'll get with Cade here.
Yes, under the proper supervision, of course.
I
Sure they
do
don't.
appreciate it. Mr. Alder, I do appreciate the work that you do, and I'm looking forward to being able to get you a TL5 on an even greater ship.
He seems he seems very intrigued by that. Um, says, if you intend to bring me an even more valuable ship than the one you arrived upon, then I will await that.
If I can't snag the ship, I'll bring you the TL5 for sure.
um,
Wrap a saddle onto it and ride it back. She'll deliver that with a straight face to see if he laughs at all.
She said what again?
She basically told him that she'd strap a saddle onto it and ride it back if she had to. But she says it with a straight face, but she's trying to crack a joke.
Yeah, he flashes her a wider grin for a moment and says, "Well, I will have my head engineer gather his team and meet you on your ship immediately. Uh,
Wonderful.
wouldn't want to keep you too long. I don't know when you're
Uh,
leaving, but
Just a heads up for your engineer. We do have an alien on board.
yes,
Just
he
to let him know if he hears mandibles clacking and whatnot, not to scream.
yeah he kind of has a eureka moment. Yes, of course. I knew there was something else I wanted to ask you about. Oh my, I would love to meet this alien friend of yours.
Yes, yes. Tom would love to meet you too.
I'm so glad to hear that. I've always dreamed of meeting a living, breathing alien.
Are you
One
open
that
to telepathy, Martin?
he he smiles, just eyes aglow. Of course. Oh my. I was hoping that I hadn't that wasn't fancy. In the notes, I just he's just doing a little quivering uh
Like with his hands,
mannerism. Yeah,
yeah,
like his hands right in front of him.
yeah.
Oh boy.
Saoirse will put, hands on knees in sort of a Midwestern whelp kind of. She'll go to stand up. Say, well, whenever you're ready, happy to make your acquaintance though. Might like to give him a bit of a heads up, make sure he's awake and caffeinated and all that. Not really sure if Tom's a morning person or not, come to think of it. She looks thoughtful, and in her head, she's imagining Tom literally biting her head off.
Nice. All right. So He's up on his feet, pacing back and forth. He's snapped fingers at one of the attendants, and said something about going and collecting his people, and then he's muttering, only half under his breath, about uh, engine components and specs, and the tools they'll need, and what all they'll have to check in the engine. He's just rambling about the technical stuff at this point, and so yeah, they're going to collect people who are going to come and take a look at it. And kind of mid ramble, he looks up and says, "Ah, and of course, if I'm able to garner anything useful from looking at it that might allow me to get a head start on the whole process, I'll be sure to give you some sort of down payment, advance on your full reward of some kind. I did leave it fairly open-ended, although I would so dearly love to have more than just a look at, but could perhaps fit within the scope of what I promised you. We shall see." And uh, after a couple seconds of going back into talking to himself, he's, "Ah, yes, of course. It was good to meet you all. You may be dismissed, and I will see you all soon."
Oh, we look forward to it. All right, you two. She's gonna immediately point over at Java and Nero. Quit acting the maggot. We gotta go.
as Nero's passing by, I wonder if I could eat maggots too.
Ugh. Nero, you're
Maggot?
gross.
Listen, if you're gonna make the right bags of it, you better get out of here before you do it. We won't have you hurling over a bucket here. They'll just
I
kind of
understood
like
half of what you
playfully.
said.
She'll
Yep, exactly.
generally the intent. I've done way too much research on Irish slang for my own good, for a lifetime, really. Anyway, she'll like sort of playfully shove Nero's shoulder as as Nero gets up and is walking past her, like basically kind of pushing her out of the room.
Yep, there it goes. You mind if we take a minute out of character to talk about just to so that we have discussed the option and what we're leaving behind?
Nero says all that?
No, that is definitely not Nero.
All right, go ahead. So you're saying, out of character before we walk away from this, I think is totally fine.
Yeah, and I mean, if we out of character changed our mind, then it would certainly be something that we later on come around to be like, Martin Alder, we've thought about it. So, yeah, basically 5+ million credits. Plus, I think we still have about 1 million left. I'd have to look back at the Brixar. It hasn't been updated in a while. And poor Java.
You guys have, there's a spreadsheet somewhere that I think lays out what your current funds look like.
Oh yeah, that's true. We're at least 500,000 on the Brixar. I'm pretty sure of that. So
Yeah.
Basically we'd be looking at 6 million credits in a patrol boat. I know a Corvette looks good, but a Corvette requires 10 crew. A patrol boat does take 5, but a patrol boat also has the higher speed It's actually got even higher speed than the Free Merchant for the specific blockade running functions. So it's not like the Prudence is the best at blockade running. It's just really good because of all the fittings. What we would be leaving on the table, what we would be losing with a ship like that is however long it takes to build it, if we're not allowed to use this ship in the meantime. And that would be a significant amount of time depending on how Ben does shipbuilding, or if that's even an option. And we would definitely lose the Drive 5. That's kind of the whole point of, what Martin Alder wants. It's not available otherwise. So
Cade does have Henchkeeper, and we can easily hire enough crew very quickly to staff even a Corvette if we wanted to. Just figured I should put that on the table.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. I don't think the crew is necessarily a hindrance. I actually think the lower speed of the Corvette is more of a hindrance since we need to be quick and stealthy with what we're doing these days.
True. But a patrol boat would give us additional weapons, additional hit points on the ship, right?
Yep, additional weapons, additional hit points, additional armor. Not as good as a Corvette with any of those, of course, but I mean, it would be a trade-off either way. And weapons are the most expensive fittings aside from drive.
I'll just throw this in there. You guys would know that there is a TL4 shipyard on in a Nagris orbit that doesn't it's not like it's always pumping out ships, but you suspect it's that you would likely, through Martin Alder at the least, be able to get access to the access to use it. Have a ship commissioned there.
Okay, and how long would it take? Or do you need reference what the book says for building?
Yeah, I was gonna double check that. I looked at it up.
25,000 a day.
Oh, okay, yeah, standard
very
25,000 a day. Yeah, that's probably about right.
Book does make reference that it can be that speed can be increased with basically the right connections and with some extra money.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You could definitely you could definitely pull some strings. You think with Martin Alder's influence alone, you could probably double that.
Okay. But even
beyond that might take some extra.
Is 20 days per million.
Yeah, so that's quite a delay.
So, I mean, with that out there, we could have a better ship, but we would be delayed by multiple months at it.
Yeah.
It would be a beefier ship with a slight trade-off in hull points, basically.
Yeah.
And it would be considerably slower in terms of spike travel.
Yeah.
So that's what we're leaving behind. Or is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
I think I'm okay with it. I got attached to the Prudence.
we have had some adventures in the Prudence. I agree. Okay.
We've shot so many bodies out of the airlock.
I was there for that.
And there are
we didn't actually do that, did we?
No.
And there are still places for Java and Nero to try and hide their activities. Still places left to find.
You haven't narratively
Right.
exhausted the potential of that ship yet.
Okay.
True.
Yep. I just felt like I, as a player, would have felt remiss if I didn't. Maybe it's my job coming back at me. I don't know. If I didn't know what I was leaving behind before I left it behind.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Cool. Thanks,
Does make
guys.
me happy to hear that you guys are that you guys love the Prudence and are at least in some way attached to it.
Yeah. It's been a very fun ship. I also liked the was it actually the Brixar that was the shuttle?
No, the Janata is the shuttle.
Janata. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay. Yeah, I also
Pixar was the yeah.
liked the Janata because oh my goodness, those quarters were so cramped and Nero's restlessness so pervasive.
Yeah.
Mm.
I just saw your post, Danielle.
Good
Nice.
stuff. Hmm.
Uh,
All right. So, everyone's in agreement on that. Now, when you all get back to the ship,
Wait. Are
oh,
we
go
on our
ahead.
way back? We're on our way back to the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Java's gonna challenge Nero to a race back.
oh
My
no.
stars.
Nero sets off. She doesn't even say yes, she just sets off.
Question, Ben.
Yeah.
Using meta psionics, does Saoirse detect any psionics around?
So just in general, like on the way back to the
Mm-hmm. Yep.
on the way back to the ship. Yeah, she would pass a couple in the hall.
What kind?
Let's see. Neither of the two that she passes are currently using anything that lets her know that.
Mm. Does she just see them using, like, wearing that tracker?
Well, she sees. Well, yeah, actually, she would she would see that, but she would first notice the potential that or the ability that they have, because she can just by looking at them, she can tell that they are psychically able of some kind. It just doesn't tell her what kind. Um,
Oh, sorry.
is there any follow up you wanted to ask about that?
Well, yeah, because if she could tell there were meta psionics around, then she wouldn't do what she was about to do, but she was going to create a telekinetic
Oh no.
what is it? I'm forgetting what it's called.
Oh, the force construct. To
Yeah, force construct
all.
and trip Java and Nero.
No, I mean,
Dirty trick.
you'll recall, she is all of her abilities are immune to detection by Metasonics completely. Like she doesn't even have to worry about cloak powers anymore.
Freaking yes! Oh, I totally forgot about that.
She would just the only thing she'd be worried about is any like super obvious use of psychic
Yeah.
powers that would not even require Metasionics to detect them.
Yeah. Do Java and Nero wear boots with laces?
With laces?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. If Java's boots have laces, at the very least, Saoirse would telekinetically yank on his laces to where they would
come undone.
Oh wow. Oh, she's sabotaging one person over the other. Ooh.
I
Well,
think
Nero
she.
didn't reply if she had laces.
I was just gonna go with the flow. Yeah, I think she'd probably have laces also.
Right? She would do the same to Nero.
Okay. Yeah, I'll rule of cool this.
You can. I
think-
mean, you can have them do dexterity saves. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think they will get evasion saves, each of them.
There you go.
Oh man!
No.
Oh no! Wow!
Yeah, so Java is definitely tripped up here. Suddenly his laces getting caught under, he steps on laces from the other shoe.
Wait. And he was in the lead because he was like, "Race you back to the ship." It started off first, right? Wait, was it Java who suggested it or Nero?
It was Java that suggested it, and Nero, instead of verbally responding, just set off.
Oh, okay. All right.
So Nero kind of stumbles momentarily, but quickly realizes what happened to her laces and manages to compensate, running with a fairly awkward gait.
She actually slows down now. Slows down and
Does
stops
she
after
hear?
that.
Does she hear a crash behind her?
Yeah, she does. She hears a thud as Java catches himself on the floor.
Catches himself on the floor. Nice. The floor gently catches him for 1d6 damage.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he's no longer level 1, and that won't kill him.
Hopefully.
Saoirse,
He doesn't take damage, but Java does notice that his notices very. I guess he finds out the hard way that his shoes are unlaced.
Oh, he's annoyed tremendously and probably shouted an expletive, but decides to take his shoes off. He's on a mission
oh my stars!
and continue this foot race back
Oh,
to the
man.
ship.
Saoirse's going to yell, "Oi, quit legging it!"
Yeah.
Nero has slowed and stopped and turned around.
You're trying to mortify me.
Okay, this is perfect. So, Nero,
Nero, we gotta go.
No, we should stay with her.
Saoirse's face is starting to turn red. She's just like totally embarrassed. She was hoping to trip them so they'd give up on it, and then they've just been like,
Yeah.
"Nope, I have to win."
Now Nero's stopped there. She holds a hand up as Java's saying we have to get back.
So he's about to blast past her, barefooted.
So would you actually have held a hand up to stop him? Because if you didn't, I think he doesn't look back.
Yeah, she does.
He doesn't. Okay.
Yeah.
He wouldn't see Nero. Or sorry, Cersei.
Yeah. Nero shrugs a little, says,
Dang.
"You can go
Okay.
back. I have to stay with her."
Is Cade or Brother Nick talking with Saoirse at all during this?
I feel like if she doesn't look that angry, but you said she was turning red, Cade would imitate her and be like, "Oi, stop acting a maggot."
Saoirse, at this point, you'll see her wrap one arm around herself and pinch the bridge of her nose with her other hand.
I think Brother Nick has just pulled out his data slab and is already mid-download of those childcare books.
Saoirse's
Yep.
incredibly glad that they left Martin Alder's place and had shut the door. And that this is not happening in Mr. Alder's presence when she was like, "You can trust us. We could do hard, dangerous things. And then my bodyguards proceed to act like literal 4-year-olds.
Nero starts walking back to Saoirse with a shuffle clump from the unlaced shoes.
Saoirse, like, still, like, holding one elbow and still pinching the bridge of her nose, hearing the shuffle clump coming her way, is just going to open her eyes and just glower up at Nero. Just no words. Just
Did Java continue or resume, or is he going back also?
Oh, I kind of got kicked out of there for a second. So, were we
Oh.
going back somewhere?
So Narrowhead, when she held up her hand for Java to slow, she basically said, "You can go on, but I have to stay with Saoirse."
Oh, I think he probably would have gotten up and, like, with a mild limp, kept going. Ultimately, like, shaking it off and continue on his walk back to the ship.
Oh,
Saoirse
Java
will
is such a
also
good
give a
influence.
side eye at Cade.
Kane isn't even gonna hide his amusement. Just like,
Wait, what'd you say?
Kane's
Kane
not gonna
doesn't-
hide his amusement. He's just gonna kind of tilt his
Just got
shoulders
like
to the
a-
side and kind of like a "what can you do?"
like a Cheshire cat grin, just like, well,
Yep.
Who picks up Java's boots?
Java fully intends never to wear those boots again. The laces
No,
are
my
his enemy.
The lace
Velcro
is
for the win.
mutinied.
I suppose Kate will pick him up.
They're like
Listen.
souvenirs.
if you wouldn't mind avoiding making a holy show of yourselves while we're off the ship, I'd rightly appreciate it. And she'll look at Nero when she says that, but then she will cut her eyes over at Cade and give him a sidelong look.
What are you looking at me for? I wasn't acting the maggot.
My stars. She'll give like a really deep sigh when he says, "Can we just get back to the ship before Mr. Martin comes out of his door and we're still standing here with Java's boots?"
Yeah, the guard up ahead that had come up around the curve a bit to see what was going on has resumed his post.
Such a hard fall. Gosh.
Oh, my word. All right.
So
we head back to the ship.
without
Saoirse
further
needs to
ado,
talk to Tom.
yeah, everybody returns. What's you wanting to talk to Tom about?
So
Hey,
actually,
we have a human that's actually really excited to meet you and open to telepathy. And he's very influential and rich and could be a huge help for getting the Jakari taken seriously.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, once everybody gets back to the ship, Java having returned maybe just a minute or two before the rest. Saoirse would be able to go on ahead, find Tom, and she would find him in his little conference room quarters, and he would just be tapping away at a data slab, and he'd look up when she comes in. When she explains Martin Alder's interest and who this guy is, Tom responds through the link with a sense of intrigue and willingness, and he would just say to her that he's happy to meet any of the humans here that are interested, as long as Saoirse thinks they'll be safe and at least somewhat respectful. He doesn't exactly want to become a spectacle, but he understands there will be a lot of curiosity and believes it's important for him to expose the humans as much as they are willing to be to his nature and the truth of interacting with him. Let me see here. All right. So, while she is doing that, I guess, well, first, would she have any follow-up that she would want to communicate to Tom? Did she just want to loop him in there?
Yeah, she would. You're saying would she want him in the loop, or wait, what? What's
No,
the question?
Sorry, I should have just left it at, did she have anything more she wanted to say to him?
No, not really. Just that she thinks this person would be respectful, or at the very least that he'd have good intentions, and anything disrespectful would be unintentional with good intentions.
Okay.
That is speaking very highly of a man whose eyes look like dollar bills.
My word. I feel like he's the kooky grandpa type.
Only if that cookie grandpa is Scrooge McDuck.
Or Daffy.
Yeah, but Daffy's not insanely rich, though.
Look at that. Sorry, I didn't work up enough spit there, but you get the idea.
Yeah, we don't need you to short out your keyboard, Ben.
Yeah.
Great. My quote for the night is molten ardor.
Yup.
Molten ardor sounds like something from Shakespeare.
Wow. Yep.
Okay, so just wanted to clarify again. So Saoirse's done talking to Tom.
Yeah.
Okay.
She'll also ask if he's eaten anything today.
Oh, okay. He'd say that yes, he's had a meal, and the the ship the ship supplies that they had set aside for him have been serving him quite well. The extra meat portions much appreciated. Um, so meanwhile, shortly after everyone returned to the ship, Brother Nick is approached by the man he recognizes as the one who'd played ball with Java and Nero, and the man seems a little bit shy at first, but he he says, Brother Nick, is it you're a holy man, yes?"
Yeah, he'll nod and say, "But I'm afraid I am not very good at catch, if that's what you're looking for."
Oh, oh no, just thought it would be fitting to ask you to, well, invoke your blessings on our crew. We hadn't done it. I ran it by the bishop, and he didn't seem to mind that if I did. Just thought, considering our times, that would be good to cover our bases.
Uh, what would Brother Nick know about Church of Athox and blessings?
Um, he would know. He would know that they definitely have their fair share of traditions that include a pretty similar language and ideas to what um, the, some of the more generic uh, things that the Church of the Sky would teach are acceptable things to ask for. Um, there's a different flavor to it at times, but he would also know that their uh, their stance is generally tolerant of other uh, other religions existing alongside them in a that at least in a purely religious capacity. And it seems from what this guy's asking, he's asking for he's not necessarily asking for a Vathoxian blessing from Brother Nick, just whatever Brother Nick is willing to give on their behalf.
Okay. Yeah, so he'd be touched at that and say, "Of course, I'd be happy to offer a benediction for the crew. Is there a particular time or place you had in mind?"
Oh, well, I was hoping that perhaps you could do it now. Everyone's here, except in, of course, Caldwell and the bishop, but uh, you could gather them up pretty quick, and you could put everyone at uh, at ease.
Okay. Yeah, he'll agree to that and say, Yes, if you want to gather the crew, and guess just need time to make preparations. Notice the sidebar.
Yeah.
Yes. I just roll to see if Brother Nick is aware of eating.
Yeah, let's see.
Another sidebar.
Give me a notice check from Brother Nick. Okay. Nope, he is it does not occur to him that Nero and Java would be so devious.
Oh my word.
And he doesn't notice their surreptitious discussion. No, they're very careful to go out of his earshot and line of sight to figure this out. And the man thanks Brother Nick profusely and says he thought that the main cargo bay was probably the most spacious part of the ship and a good place to gather everyone. And so he runs off to go collect everyone. And yeah, so I think that's a good point for us to leave off for this session. I think maybe next time we can decide if we want to continue in character with some of this, and then also whether the visit from Martin Alder and his engineering, his technicians, whoever they are, whether we're going to do that in character or out of character. Hmm.
Well, at this point, it seems that the more likely location is probably just whichever one is closest. So, Ben.
Yeah, I think Java's was one of these up behind the cockpit at the
I
bridge.
put him in there.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean,
And that
just
would-
at what point did Java and Nero actually collide? She had started trying to do a quick security sweep, and it passed Java at some point in the ship. So, where were they closest to?
I would say that that Java intercepted her pretty much as she entered the ship along with the others.
Okay, so
Um,
basically around here.
Yeah, because he was
Well, I guess we
he
know where
was
Nero is.
prepared, yeah. And so as Brother Nick heads into the cargo bay and all the Uralans are heading in there as well, the coast is clear for them to make it in there. And I guess and Saoirse is off talking to Tom at that point.
Mm-hmm.
The guy we played ball with, his name was Owen. Just so you guys know.
Funny that you know his name. The GM hasn't told us.
Why is that funny?
I don't know if I was supposed to share that. Now you
Oh, it
make me
doesn't.
question myself.
Oh,
Fine. Java,
I think we all figured that out anyways.
you could say Java told Nero. I mean, nothing wrong with that.
Well, I don't think our characters necessarily have. Well, Nero would probably have known it from the ball game, though.
Maybe she didn't explicitly ask.
That's true, and it's not like she would have.
Yeah. You say, see, yeah. Anywho, all right, let's go ahead. Let's start doing faves, y'all.
Sounds good.
Robert is gonna get to go first this time.
Well, there's so many funny things, it's hard to pick. Man. It's kind of a toss-up between impersonating Saoirse and Nero just going out there and eating the pomegranate, rind and all. Just gung-ho.
You know, Nero wasn't designed as a comedy relief character.
She's definitely quickly been slotted into that role.
Oh man.
I mean,
Just
I
because
could
it's not
feel
a skill doesn't mean she's not good at it.
true. It's the naive or I think it's common for the naive or simple character to end up becoming comic relief
Yeah,
frequently.
yeah.
It's just
No,
too much fun.
I'm definitely
Uh,
not complaining. It's fun comedy, so and none of it's mean.
yeah, it's good stuff. All right, Avery, what about you?
Ooh, I'm just looking over my notes. It's kind of a toss-up between Martin totally just being seemingly okay with us not fulfilling whatever promise the party made before I was here. Um, that I thought that was pretty great. Obviously, because I like the prudence. Then I'd have to give it to Cersei for tangling our laces, just making us eat it, and then the crit fail. I mean, like the imagery I had in my head. I'm glad he didn't get hurt, but I mean, like, totally expected it in that situation. I'd say it's between those two.
Yeah, that was that was a pretty funny moment.
Go.
Yeah, and that's something I guess I hadn't come up before, but with the saving throws, there's not really well, and even on the skill checks, there's not really an explicit mechanism in the system for critical failures or successes. Um, and we haven't implemented anything ourselves either. So it wasn't any worse uh, than a normal failure, but yeah, the saving throws are interesting. I'm still not sure how I feel about the way that they're designed.
Hmm.
I think partly because a high level character becomes almost like pretty close to immune to a lot of the saving throw effects, or at least it has an incredibly high success rate. Um, and I guess that's maybe that's okay. But anyway, yeah, it makes a big difference between like Java's level and Nero's level.
That's-
All
I
right,
mean,
I guess we can move.
compounding that, Nero does have a +2 dex.
Yeah, that's also
Yep.
true. Um, goodness for me. I think I think my favorite was definitely the ball game. Just because that was like it just I don't know, it just felt like it happened very organically. Um, everybody like just how everybody went after that so much, and we just ended up with this totally random thing happening because Cade decided to troll the whole ship. um, it was just a fun result that I would not have expected out of all that. Um, so yeah, and so I guess that yeah, I guess then that it's really because of Cade's prank that enjoyed that scene so much. So I guess I'll give the credit ultimately to Cade to Robert for setting that all in motion. That's twice now that just some little bit of uh a prank using the ship's systems has made for some really fun roleplay.
It's fun. Shake things up every now and then.
Mm-hmm. All right, Danielle, what about you?
Mm, Probably being reminded that I can use my powers without being detected because I didn't realize it at all.
Nice. Yeah, that's that's definitely a big one. All right, Dix, what about you?
I got a double this time also.
All right.
Cade trolling the ship with the narrow ball bounce was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And
Thanks.
then capping the session with Java pulled it off. Well, so far as we know, Java freaking pulled it off. We'll just have to see how long he and Nero spend in the room, doing whatever it is they do in private.
Yeah.
I mean, we all as players know what that is, but I'm just imagining that if they end up just in there munching relaxedly and leisurely on rice cakes for like 2 hours, and then come out and people are like, "Whoa." It'll be fun to see how the next session starts off.
Yeah, I think it will. See. Okay. Ethan, we're on to you.
I guess it's kind of a summation of all yeah, the side things, but I guess like the slice of life stuff, we're getting all ready for the session with like y'all are down to brass tacks kind of planning, but it's nice to have these moments for just kind of the crew hanging out.
Okay, am I encapsulating it correctly by saying the crew hanging out?
E.
Or did I miss your more specific
Oh no,
phrasing?
that's good.
Okay. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I just continue to love the whole dynamic of the crew. All right. Everybody go ahead and take 2 XP for this session.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And of course 4 for Java. And see.
Ethan, are you at 112 XP?
113.
Missed one. I don't think I updated last time before I got off.
I'm 11 points from level 10.
Noise.
I am 15 from level 12.
Is it 3 experience to level? I just
um,
dinged.
no, it starts going. The base number starts going up. Hold on a second. What's going on with your sheet there?
Chart is on page 56 if you get the PDF.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're actually at level 5 right now.
Woo!
Did
Wait,
you do
level
your
5? No, it should be level 4.
so
Just did it and re-rolled hit points.
so you just rolled hit points for level 4?
Yeah. So this needs to
Um,
go back to 0. That goes to 19.
no, your total XP does not reset.
Oh,
Have you been doing that?
yes.
No.
Oopsie poops.
Unfortunate.
I'm gonna do some math after this session, it sounds like.
Yeah, I guess so. We'll okay. Java may be taking a sudden overnight leap in capability here. But that's fine. And so yeah, so I'll be in touch with you offline about that and just clarifying that because I suspect you will be at least level 5, if not higher. But yeah, you'll still just want to go through each one level up kind of in order. But yeah, we can cover that. Let's see. I'm looking for let's see. Okay, yeah. We'll also want to oh, maybe I'll do it this well, yeah. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. We'll sort that out later.
Yeah.
Um Okay, I think that's it for everything. I think we can call it a session. Um,
Fun session.
yeah, thank you, everybody. Dex, you can cut the stream if you haven't already.
All right, doing so right now.